You're listening to Tehachapi with Key Budge, Tori Costello, Greg Garrett, and Ashley Whitmore.
Welcome to Tehachapi. This is Ashley Whitmore here with Claire Scotty to find out what's going on for the weekend.
Hi, Ashley. It's so fun to be here today, and we have such a fun whole week coming up here.
Well, tell us what's going on.
All right, let's jump right in. So let's talk about our vineyards first today. We have Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company, and they are doing a wonderful 20th anniversary for when the first grapevines were planted in Tehachapi. So 20 years ago this weekend, Bob and Patty Souza planted the first grapes. And 5 years after that, their tasting room was open. So we are celebrating that with Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company, and they have a whole array of fun stuff going on. So first of all, they will be selling a commemorative bottle of wine, a Primitivo, and you can purchase that all throughout this weekend. That's a really cool bottle and a really cool thing to have just to share a little bit of Tehachapi history. And they have a wine club special also happening all throughout the weekend. But for Friday, they're open noon to 6 or noon to 7. And then they have their happy hour happening, and Steve Feller from Shades of the Billy Band is playing from 3 to 6. And then on Saturday and Sunday, they have their 20th anniversary. They're open from noon to 7. They will be serving up smoked tri-tip sandwiches with potato salad or chips, charcuterie, sangria, wine, and slushies. On Saturday, from noon to 3, Tom Carlson and Dave Mordigian will be playing, and you'll hear a little bit of cowboy poetry by Troy Smith. And then from 4 to 7, Acme Music Company is going to step in and start playing some tunes. On Sunday, from noon to 3, Holy Crow Jazz Band will be playing, and then Jim Sinney will pick up from 4 to 7. Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company will be open Monday and Tuesday as well. So on Monday, you will hear Mark Anthony Castrion from 2 to 5. And on Tuesday, you'll hear Joey Kuntz from noon to 4. And they will be open noon to 6 on Monday, and then on Tuesday, noon to 4. So it'll give you plenty of time to go over, have a little glass of wine, have a little snack, get ready for some fireworks and rodeo later on.
So great way to celebrate our journey to what we are now as far as our wine country.
Absolutely. This industry is really growing. We have more grapes being planted every day, and it's just really fun to see how far we've come in 20 years.
Yes.
Heading over to Tehachapi Winery. Friday, they have their happy hour. They're open noon to 6, and that's 20% off all wine purchases. On Saturday, James Rivers is playing from 2 to 5, and Claudia's Catering will be there. Sunday, Nicholas Frizard is playing. And then we have Mosner sandwiches that day, and charcuterie will be available Friday through Sunday. This Friday, they also have their wonderful comedy night. I believe there's 1 or 2 tickets still available. So if you give them a call or go over to Eventbrite, you'll be able to get those tickets, but they're going to sell out very quickly. And I think ticket sales might end here very soon. So hop on Eventbrite or call 661-821-9587. Dorner Family Vineyard is open on Fridays from noon to 6. And on Saturday, you'll hear Carrie Park from 1 to 5. And on Sunday, you'll hear Dave Mordigian from 1 to 5. On Saturday, Dorner serves sandwiches and charcuterie. And then on Sunday, they have fresh-made personal-sized pizzas. And you'll find gelato, wine slushies, wine floats, an assortment of wonderful things, including beer. Triassic Family Vineyards will be at Farmers Market today at our booth, so come on over. They'll have a white and a red, and we'll also be serving West Lane beer, so a little bit of something from both our breweries and our wineries here. Friday, they're open noon to 6. Saturday, Blonde Mustard will be performing, and Haywood's Hot Dogs will be there. And on Sunday, Michael James will be performing. And a quick reminder that July 15th is Beatlemania at Triassic. So they have a really big concert, a really fun event. If you're a fan of the Beatles, you're going to want to go to this. It's really fun, and I know their tickets are selling like hotcakes, so be sure to grab them.
Just go onto their website or their Facebook, and they can pick them up
I
there?
believe Eventbrite, or you can pop onto their website TriassicVineyards.com. And it'll be from 5 to 8 on July 15th, and it's $25 per person.
Perfect.
Yeah. Switching gears and going over to our breweries, Local Craft Beer has their musical open mic night tonight, and Claudia's Catering will be there. Friday through Sunday, Lupita's Tacos and Hot Tamales will be there. And then on Saturday, they have the Mean Gene Band coming to play. And we know that every Wednesday, we have Geeks Who Drink Trivia Night at 6:30. West Lane has paint night tonight. They're going to paint a patriotic guitar, and it looks really cool. It's this pretty guitar that's a picture of a guitar, not an actual guitar. And it's this really cool rendition of an American flag. Kiki's Tacos will be there. On Friday, we have Whole Shot Pizza. On Saturday, we have our first brews and buys of the month, and Fancy Hot Dogs will be there. And if you haven't been to a brews and buys yet, it's really fun. There's lots of different vendors that you won't find anywhere else. And you can just go and grab a beer, shop around, see if there's something that suits your fancy or something you want to get for a friend, and just relax and have a good time. And then we know every Wednesday they have their open mic night at 5 p.m., hosted by Django Stoffer, and Cub and Gut Pizza is usually there. And I have heard whisperings that the Mountain Brewing Pub over at Mountain Bowling and P-Dubs will be opening soon. Okay. So I hope we will have more information and have another brewery to
We'll have some updates then each week.
Yes, that is my hope.
All right. Do we have anything else happening, or is that it that builds up to the 4th of July?
Right. So, yes, we all know all the amazing fun things happening here in town at 4th of July. We know all of our communities do their own celebrations for 4th of July, but there's also a couple extra things taking place that I want to remind everybody about. We have our T-Pops and Mountain Music parking lot concert happening on July 1st on Saturday from 10 to 3. That is in front of Fiddler's Crossing and Calliope Music Studios at 206 East F Street. And it's just going to be a wonderful day of music. T-Pops is going to come in and play later on in the afternoon. And a bunch of students who are learning how to play their instruments, they're going to come out and they're going to practice.
Great.
So, yeah, if you're in town, maybe come by and show some support and see how everybody's coming along. And then we have our Tehachapi Symphony Orchestra will be performing their concert July 2nd, 4 to 6 at the Country Oaks Baptist Church. And they are going to be doing a whole array of patriotic music. So patriotic songs, marches, light classical and pops music. They're going to have all kinds of fun stuff. And they're also working with Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company on a fundraiser. So Tehachapi Wine and Cattle Company has a wine called Symphony. If you purchase one of those bottles of wine, $1 will go back to our Tehachapi Symphony Orchestra. And so they're going to have a special deal. If you're at the concert, you can order one of these bottles of wine and go pick it up. Then our rodeo kickoff starts July 3rd. So the night before all the big shindig begins, it'll be at the fairgrounds. And you're going to be hearing from Lacey J. Dalton, who is a Grammy Award-winning singer. And she's coming to perform at 7 o'clock, but dinner from Red House Barbecue will be served up at the fairgrounds. That starts at 6. So you're going to want to get your tickets on Eventbrite, $40. Show up around 5:30, 5:45, get a spot, get some food, and then settle in for a wonderful concert to kick off this awesome event that we have going on. Our July 4th also brings our local museum's 50th anniversary celebration. They're going to have an auction. They're going to have cake. They are auctioning off several different items, and one is an American flag flown over the White House this 4th of July. It will be donated by Kevin McCarthy and his wife, Judy. And this event will take place from noon to 1, so get your bids in before then. You can call the museum to get your bid in now if you want. And that's 661-750-7276. And events like this really help bolster our museum so we can add more programs, more events, and more things that can support all the age groups in our community. The last thing I have is that our local public library has Seda Wolf coming this Friday at 12:30. She's one of our young artists. She does graphic art, and she's been away at college, and now she's coming back to visit, and she's going to share some of her artwork and some of her stories.
Great. She's been on the podcast, I know, with Key.
Yes, yeah. I think she's been on a couple times, and she's always so fun to talk to and hear from. And so we'll have a chance to see her again at the library at 12:30. And then on July 7th, we have Books in Motion. And J&M Dance Studio is going to come out and perform a book called Sweet Dance Party by Barbara Lehman. And it's really kind of a cool take. So there's going to be a narrator reading the book, and the dancers are going to perform their rendition of the book. And then they're going to teach some of the kids and some of the people that are watching, teach them some of those dance moves, and then there'll be a craft afterwards.
Very cool.
So I love what our library's doing, all of
Yes.
these different cool activities and events. And then on Tuesday, the 11th at 11:45, Magic of Josiah is coming. And this is a really cool Hawaiian storyteller who comes and he tells stories in a very different way with music and a wonderful way of storytelling. And so it really is an art. And I watched him once before, and I thought, this is really cool. Everyone should hear him. So that will be Tuesday, the 11th at 11:45. Other than that, I think we're off and running on this weekend.
Well, great. And if anybody has questions about what's happening 4th of July downtown, you can check out our Facebook. We've got a listing with times on everything. I know, Claire, you talked about that last week during the podcast, so we won't touch too much on that. But thank you so much for the update. And everybody tune in next week, again, to find out what's going on then. But we can't wait to see you downtown.
Exactly. Well, a lot is happening all this month, but I'm very excited for all the shindig taking place this weekend.
Thanks for joining us on Tehachapi.
Tehachapi is a conversation about Tehachapi, featuring the community members who make this such a special place to call home. If you have a question or a thought you'd like to share, email media@tehachapicityhall.com. Thank you to Gary Mazzola for sharing his song, This is Tehachapi.